Welcome to the show. Mike is here. Garrett is here. Jesus, thankfully, is not here. Some of you are grateful for that. I understand that. He'll be back next week, though. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little lightheaded today. I was telling Garrett before we came down here there. My guy's like painting upstairs, and he's having to use kills, and because there's some stained wood that needs to be painted, and the paint just soaks right into it, and so it's kind of a mess. But it's so strong, and he's like, "Yeah, I've got a fan up there blowing it out the window." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." And then it starts wafting down.
I was gonna say, you're just up there getting high on paint fumes all day, a little bit of paint thinner.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
never hurt anyone.
No, it's quite the process. But I believe he paints paints tomorrow. So it was like that. What's that initial coat they do?
Primer.
Primer. Yeah, thank you. God, idiot. But yeah, he did the primer, and it's coming along, man. It's coming along. I'm very, very excited about it all. But yeah, a little lightheaded. So if I start sounding like Joe Biden or something,
me and Corn Pop.
Yeah. That's why. Because I'm a little out of it today, a little lightheaded. But that's all right. We'll get through it. Speaking of President Dementia, why don't we start with him today? He's had a couple moments of late that have been fascinating, to say the least. You know, we've seen him shake hands with ghosts before. Yeah, that's one of my favorite videos. Him tripping up the stairs is 5-star, and him shaking hands with dead people.
That one's more than tripping upstairs for me. I just love that because he looks so disappointed.
And
he's just like, where'd that? What happened?
Where is it?
He keeps the hand out while he walks away. Like, that's the best part. He's frozen in that handshake pose as he's leaving.
Yeah. I love the meme, too, that someone posted of him holding his hand out to nobody, and it just says Joe Biden shaking hands with all his actual voters.
Yep.
Which is really funny. You know,
oh, yeah.
Obviously, it was the freest and fairest election we've ever had in this country. That goes without saying.
Just don't look at the addresses.
Yeah, don't look at the addresses or anything like that. But yeah, so that's fine. Well, he's now apparently meeting with dead people. So it's not just that he's shaking hands with dead people. He's apparently meeting with them, and that's always fun. So this is twice now in a week he's done this. And I love the people like, you know, he had a stutter as a kid. Okay, I'm like, this is
a stutter
so far
that we
beyond.
didn't recognize all the way through his career in politics.
Exactly. Wow, you're not supposed to notice that, Garrett. You shouldn't even notice that. Like, what are you talking about?
My bad.
He always had a stutter. You're like, yeah. No, I watched this guy ramble his ass off for years, and I know what a stutter looks like versus what a potentially dead person looks like trying to have a conversation.
I think stutter and dementia are a little different.
Yeah, very much so, and that's what we're seeing almost by the day. He was saying that yesterday that he had spoken with the late German Chancellor Helmut Kohl in 2021, which is great. That's fine, except the dude died in 2017. So that's kind of a problem. Biden made the mistake while telling a group of donors about his first Group of 7 event back in 21. That's that group that meets up with leaders from China, and Canada, UK, America, all that kind of stuff. First got elected president, I went to a G7 meeting with 7 heads of state in Europe, and I sat down and said, America's back. Yeah, is that what you did? You brought America back, Joe? Nice work. The president of France looked at me and said, for how long? Good one. And I never thought of it this way. And then Helmut Kohl of Germany looked at me and said, what would you say, Mr. President, if you picked up the London Times tomorrow morning and learned there's 1,000 broken down the doors of British Parliament, killed some inaudible people on the way in to deny the next prime minister to take office? And you think, what would we think? Dude, if that's your definition of what happened on January 6th, you are a fucking marblehead.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bad when you put it that way.
Yeah. So thousands of people broke down the doors. Is that what happened? They killed some people on the way in?
I don't think I saw that in the footage they released.
Remember that either. And on the way in to deny the next prime minister to take office. The actual German chancellor, by the way, was Angela Merkel.
Yeah,
who's a peach herself.
Oh, she's awesome.
Just
doing
awesome.
Great over there. They love her.
They do love her. When you let 1 million foreigners into your country and it destroys the schools and everything, people tend to be like, whatever. That's okay.
Germany, Sweden, or as they like to call Middle East Part 2.
I think in Germany they just have so many horrible feelings about Nazi Germany.
Yeah, they're trying to make up for it.
Yeah, they're always trying to make good on that. It's like, How about you just don't be an asshole
It's
and
like, you guys
destroy
fucked
your
up.
economy?
We fixed it. It's all right. Just go back to what you were doing, all right?
Yeah.
Back pre-1930, just do that.
Yeah. At a later event that same day, he mentioned coal again.
Actually, I can't even say pre-1930 because they also were involved in World War I as an Axis power.
Yeah, true. On Sunday, Biden referenced the 2021 G7 meeting in the United Kingdom and a gathering of NATO leaders that took place in June of 21, in which a conversation about the Capitol breach on January 6th apparently came up. I sat down and I said, America's back. And Mitterrand from Germany, from France, looked at me and said, how long you back for? The problem is Mitterrand, he did serve as the president of France from 81 to 95, but he's been dead since 96. So almost 25 years he's been dead.
Oh, yeah.
So at the time, Emmanuel Macron was the president of France. So not only is he shaking hands with ghosts, he's now meeting with him. And it's so funny. I saw Karine Jean-Pierre, the lesbian, black.
Yeah. BIPOC.
But yeah, she checks a whole lot of boxes. She's absolutely, without question, the dumbest person that's ever held that position.
Front runner.
Yeah, she is. And she's kind of hot, though. She likes pussy as much as I do, so I get it. She's got no interest in me. But yeah, Peter Doocy, I saw, was questioning her about this. Like, people are kind of concerned about his age and, his mind, his mental capacity. And now he's mentioning dead people that he's talked to and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I won't even justify that with an answer. It's like,
you probably should just say, I won't justify that with a excuse.
Right. Or just, you got to come up with a better answer than that. The press corps, one person on the press corps, the rest of those fucking fools are just going to be like, oh my God, thank God you're here to save us, save democracy, Karine. That's all they're going to do, give her a standing ovation at the end of the day and that kind of stuff, like they did for Jen Psaki, made her a cake and then thanked her for her service.
I was going to say, these last two presidents,
shit.
The press secretary has to have some of the hardest job.
Oh, yeah. But if you get someone that's smart and can take people on, that's fine. But when you have a whole press corps kissing your ass, that sucks for all of us. It really does. If you can't ask tough questions, they're starting to ask Biden some tough questions about the border. But when Peter Doocy asks a very legitimate question, and it's not formed like, hey, since we've got a, weekend at Bernie's in the White House, what do you say? He's like, hey, this guy's, here's the facts. There's been many polls on this, and like 70% of the country thinks he's too old and doesn't have the mental capacity. And then he does shit like this, claiming he had conversations with people that have been dead for 25 years. What do you say to that? And it's like, I never. How dare you? And it's like, no, I'd kind of like to hear what you have to say about that too. Seems a little odd.
I feel like she'd actually get a lot more play if she was more honest about it. She's just like, we think he's getting a little bad right now. You know, he was having a moment. Like, if she just starts saying stuff like that.
Because if he's having a moment, it means there's
I don't know how they're
going to
run him past this term. There's no way they can run him next term because he's just so far gone and everybody sees it. So
you mean in November election?
In November.
Yeah, no, I don't know what they're going to do. My guess is somehow, some way they get Gavin Newsom in there.
Yeah.
Somehow, even though he denies it, of course he's going to. He's a lying politician. That's
as soon as they give him enough money, he'll do it.
Yeah, or however that plays out. But it's even worse if they don't, because if they run this asshole and he gets 80 million in supreme,
the highest amount of votes in all of history,
because he's so awesome. If he gets 81 million votes and wins again, which would be hilarious, almost on its face. Then he'll probably just step down and they'll just give it to Kamala and be like, hey,
it better not be Kamala.
Look at this glass ceiling breaker, black woman, which is the best part is, I swear to God, and I'm being totally serious, I didn't even know she was black.
I thought she was like Indian or something.
I didn't even think she was that. I just thought she was a tan white broad. I had no idea.
I knew there was something brown in there. I just didn't know what kind of brown. It was very vague.
Yeah, well, she's in California, so it's like, there's maybe a...
Could be a little Hispanic.
And she was banging black dudes. I think she literally blew her way to the top.
Oh, yeah.
That was her claim to fame, was she was known for fucking her way up the ladder and
putting a lot of prisoners to labor camps.
Yeah, firefighters. They needed the firefighters.
Yeah, let's just make them work for pennies on the dollar for prison reform.
Proof here that these guys were all innocent, but fuck that. We need the firefighters. Yep. So some would call that slavery, but not her. She's apparently black, so
yeah, so
can't
she's
call
okay
her
with
out
it.
for
No.
shit. The other thing that's blowing up today, and I'm kind of excited about this. What time is it right now, technically, when we're doing it? Okay, it's almost 5:00. So, Tucker Carlson, God, man, I just haven't paid as much attention to him since he's doing the show on X.
Yeah.
And I think he's got a website now that he's...
Probably. I think it was a weird branding thing because he went from like a big network, and I know he got fired from that, but he went to Twitter or X. It's like he didn't really go to like a YouTube or anything or like a platform people are always on and following, or Rumble or something like that. He just went to like Twitter only. And
yeah, it's kind of weird. And most people watch Twitter on their phones.
yeah, it's like Twitter's
like
something I've always scrolled through and just kind of like, oh, that's a cool post, and scrolled past.
Yeah, me too. And I like what he's done. I don't have a problem with the guests, and some of it's out there. And when you take the guardrails down and you don't have to answer to anybody, that's what you get. You're going to get the guy that claims he blew Barack Obama in a limo and did blow with him all night. You're going to get that interview with that guy. And I love these people who are like, oh, absolutely discredits this journalistic work when you would interview so-and-so. Dude, I'm telling you, as someone who's interviewed thousands of people, I'll talk to anybody. I love it. Dude, if I could interview President Putin, I fucking would.
I would.
There's not a presidential leader in the world that I wouldn't want to talk to.
No, even the worst of the worst. I would like to see why. I just want to know why.
Or ask them whatever questions you want. Doesn't mean you have to kiss their ass.
No.
I mean, I'd love to talk to Kim Jong-un. Are you kidding me? Do you think the audience wouldn't absolutely love to hear a TDC-based podcast with Kim Jong-un?
Not even any podcast. If you put Kim Jong-un on podcast, I don't care who it is or who is hosting it. I want to see that.
Hell yeah. Do you think I wouldn't ask him about feeding his uncle to the dogs or taping people to telephone poles and shooting them with anti-aircraft missiles?
I was going to say,
I would.
I want to know if he can give us any insight at if they say anything about the anti-aircraft missile as it's coming in. Like, do they have time to scream?
Oh, yeah. No, I wanted to know if they saw the flash, if they would at least see the flash. And I think I've been told they would, which is kind of cool. But, dude, I would not want to be fed to dogs.
Yeah.
I'd way prefer to be shot by because that's just going to turn you into sludge.
Oh, yeah. I'd definitely go anti-air every day.
Yeah, anti-aircraft. I don't want to be fucking...
I'll take anti-air over a firing squad.
Oh, for sure. For sure. That thing's not going to miss, and it's going to incinerate you instantly. It's just like, boom, out go the lights.
30 millimeter will take you down real quick.
Yeah. So I'd have no problem with that. But, Tucker Carlson announced that he's interviewed Vladimir Putin. And he posted a video on X on Tuesday announcing he was in Moscow to interview Putin. His sit-down with the president is the first time Putin agreed to speak with a Western media personality since Russia invaded Ukraine 2 years ago. Parliament member Guy Verhofstadt, former prime minister of Belgium, said the European bloc, should consider imposing a travel ban on Carlson for serving as a mouthpiece for Putin. Oh, so he's just not going to be a mouthpiece for your side of things.
Yeah, he's not. So, if he was talking to Zelensky, there'd be no problem.
Sure. Or if he was just a mouthpiece for the European bloc.
Yeah.
And for what their narrative is. Like, do people not understand what journalists do? And like, it's really important no matter how fucked up it is, you want context and you want both sides of a story. Like, that's how you journalism. That's how you do the work. Like, who wouldn't? I just don't understand this idea of like, oh no, you're giving you're being a platform for him, or you're being a mouthpiece for him. You don't even know what he fucking asked him. How do you know if he's a mouthpiece? Take issue with what Putin says afterwards, or I'd be interested to hear what he has to say. I know there's two sides to every story.
I can watch Putin say his side of why he's invading, doing everything he's doing, and go, okay, well, here's his reasons. Then I can go watch something with Zelensky saying, here's why we don't like them being in here and why we don't want to make these terms with them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at that. All sides of the story. I get some facts. I feel informed, and I can make a better decision.
This idea that, Putin's a war criminal. Okay, there's war criminals all over planet Earth, and there always have been, and there always will be. You still want to interview those people.
Yeah.
I'm glad the fucking U.S. journalist here interviewed Osama bin Laden. It's like some Western media outlet got to, Al-Qaeda's leader and interviewed him.
I want to hear what he has to say. I mean, obviously it's going to be death to America. Fuck all you guys. Get out of our country.
And that's fine. But don't tell me what I can and cannot hear, and that you're going to be Big Daddy over here. You're the Big Daddy protecting us all. Because you know what? That government narrative doesn't fly with a lot of us. Nope. Most of us don't buy that hook, line, and sinker. You want us to, And I heard from some people yesterday when Trav was here, and he was talking about, I'm not so sure that plane wasn't shot down. There were people that reached out to me and went, yeah, bro, you should look more into that. That plane was definitely shot down.
Yeah, we don't talk about that one in the government.
Yeah, I don't, no one's ever sent me anything, and I've just never, and I love 9/11 stuff. I'm infatuated by it. I'll never forget the day. You would have been a little kid.
I was kindergarten.
Yeah. So it probably has a different meaning and context for you.
It was a free day from school at the time, and then as I grew up, I was like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you kind of just grew in that weird...
But still, like Elvis was killed in 1980, I think, and I was a little kid.
Yeah.
But that means nothing to me. I didn't grow up on Elvis Presley. I was alive,
I think the difference for me was the world changed after 2001, because you always hear that pre-9/11, post-9/11 world.
Sure.
And that's it was one of those things growing up in the post 9/11 world. I didn't even know that you could just bring anything through an airport. It just wasn't normal to me. In my head, growing up,
you used to have people like your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever.
Go have a date at the airport.
Yeah, you could go hang out and wave at them from the lounge while their plane backed out.
Yeah.
No security, no nothing. I mean, you just waltz through together. And,
no, way back in the day.
I mean, I'm sure there was some level of security, but not like you think of now.
My mom used to work in an airport way back in the day. I don't even know what she did out there, but it was just an old job she used to have, and it's one of those things where she says all the time, you just drive right in your terminal, you go thing, and now we do jobs at the airports and stuff sometimes with my company, and you have to get perfect security clearance. You have to make sure everyone's ID'd, has federal background checks, and not carrying anything that isn't allowed.
Yeah.
And that's just for workers. We're just coming in to do a job there.
Yeah.
I'm not even getting on a plane.
So, as Putin is a war criminal and the EU sanctions all who assist him in that effort, it seems logical that the External Action Service, or the EAS, examine his case as well, meaning Tucker Carlson. The EAS oversees foreign policy for the European Union, handling such issues as diplomacy and sanctions. Carlson wants to give a platform to someone accused of crimes of genocide. Okay, a lot of our presidents are accused of that too. If you look at Syria and Kenya and
any country with any kind of
Afghanistan, there's a whole lot of people that go, yeah, America is the true terrorist, and they're the genocidal maniacs, and they're fucking war machine. So what does that mean? You never want one of our presidents interviewed? Is that how you want to go down this road? That if you think someone's a fucking committing genocide somewhere in the world, which is very much debatable, and absolutely there's some merit to it, do you not want any of U.S. presidents being interviewed anymore? If that's how you feel, because that's what you're asking for, essentially.
Well, I think we should take all our world leaders to task. And this is my inner libertarian coming out, but I feel like if you're a world leader, you shouldn't have privacy.
Yeah, you're absolutely not.
We're depending on you to make the decisions overseas for how our country's going to run and what wars we're going to be in.
Your phone should be available. Oh, yeah. Your fucking
I want to see your emails, your phone, everything you're doing, anything work related.
And why do they fight against it? Because they know that they're up to shady shit. Of course. Which is why they always want to hide it, which is why
I don't know
30,000 emails go missing and all kinds of things like that on both sides.
I understand the argument of it's top security clearance. We can't put this out right now or whatever. It's touchy. But why are half the JFK files still secure?
Yeah,
that happened so long ago, and it doesn't really affect anyone today.
No, not at all. Yeah, they should. But, what you're going to find out is the CIA was directly involved with that. And it's going to lead to Martin Luther King questions and Malcolm X questions and oh, wow, the CIA was probably involved in all of this, whether you're talking about JFK or his brother Bobby.
Yep.
All of them were probably murdered by the CIA. And, but I agree. It was 70 years ago?
Yeah.
60 some years ago.
I have it
written
on a shirt somewhere.
Do you?
Yeah.
And so it's nobody alive today, and
none of them are alive. I mean, Robert Kennedy's alive, but even he's the one saying let's drop the tapes.
He knows.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows it was CIA involvement. Carlson wants to give a platform. This is wrong. If Putin has something to say, he needs to say it in front of the ICC. At the same time, Carlson is not being a real journalist, since he clearly has expressed sympathy for the Russian regime and Putin and has constantly disparaged Ukraine, the victim of Russian aggression. Okay, I won't pretend to have heard everything that Tucker Carlson has said about this, but I think Tucker has the same bitch that a lot of us do. Your nation's falling apart. Yeah. You have more homeless on the streets than ever. It's a fucking disaster. Crime is through the roof, and yet you can send
$90 billion,
$150 billion to Ukraine. It's gone way up. It might be even at $165 billion, and they're talking about another $95 billion.
Oh, awesome! That's what we need.
So you could literally fix homelessness in this country for, I think estimates are between 5 and 20 billion. And we've sent 160 billion-ish to Ukraine. And some people go, there's no accountability for that money. You're just taking the most corrupt government in all of Europe, Ukraine. You're taking their word for it.
Historically corrupt and the human trafficking capital of the world.
Yeah, true. So we're just supposed to take their word for it that they've got this shit?
Oh, yeah, they're the good guys, though.
It doesn't work like that. And a lot of people are going to be a little skeptical of that. It doesn't mean they're a puppet for Putin. It means, like, yeah, there's probably more to this story. And I'm not crazy about you just writing blank checks and sending them over to Ukraine. That doesn't seem cool. So if that means you're a puppet for Putin, then I guess I'm a puppet for Putin. I don't wish to be.
Questioning the whole thing. I don't want to be a puppet for Putin. I'm not even a fan of Russia altogether. Personally, that's a European problem right now. And I know we got a lot of assets in Ukraine, and that's probably why we're sending all the money.
Yeah.
A lot of labs they don't want to talk about, a lot of nuclear facilities we do not want them near.
Yeah. Underground
and honestly, as Russia, having a country that is going to be NATO backed with nuclear supplies and all sorts of weird labs in the country right next to you that's run by a country that you don't like, it's probably got to be scary for them. It's like when they tried to put missiles in Cuba.
Yeah.
We were pissed off and
Hell
like,
yes.
hey, you can't touch that. You can't go into Cuba. And now we're
rightly
like,
so.
But we want to go to Ukraine and put stuff there.
Yeah. And Russia's not thrilled with that.
No, so I can see why they're pissed.
If you look at it from there, I know it sounds we sound like apologists, but the whole Russia narrative fell apart. Most of us or a lot of us saw through it immediately and what nonsense and bullshit it was. But that narrative is still being played out, even though it was total bullshit. We know it was all lies and all nonsense. So you just want me to turn around and believe everything you're saying? No, it doesn't work like that. And this idea that Tucker Carlson is just some, he's not a journalist. He's just propping up the flag for Putin. Like, give me a break.
I'm pretty sure going and interviewing the world leader of another country to see why he's starting an international conflict is good journalism.
Yeah, and who knows? Who knows what they said? It's going to air tonight at 6, by the way. So while we're doing this show, it's going to drop, is what they say. So for such propaganda for a criminal regime, you end up on the list of sanctions. This concerns primarily a travel ban to EU countries. Carlson's interview with Putin has taken place already, though it is yet to be released 6 o'clock tonight, like I said. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov confirmed the interview had been recorded, adding, Carlson's position is different from the others. It is in no way pro-Russian. No, it is not pro-Ukrainian. It's pro-American. But at least it contrasts with the position of traditional Anglo-Saxon media. Now, can I, on its face, trust the spokesperson for the Kremlin? No. But that kind of falls in line with what I would think, that someone like Tucker Carlson would be very much in American interest.
I think he's very pro-American.
Yeah, that's what his angle would be if you know anything about him, if you follow him for any length of time. The threats to sanction Carlson over the interview received some blowback from people in the media. The idea that Tucker would be sanctioned for engaging in free speech and journalism is the kind of thuggish tyranny one might expect from Vladimir Putin's regime, not from democratic Western governments. Even if Tucker Carlson flies rhetorical cover for Putin, a man with hundreds of nuclear weapons trained on us, and I hope he is sincere when he says this is not what he is there to do, he would still be well within his rights to do so. And then Glenn Beck, founder of The Blaze, I thought his comment was really good. He said, so you're not allowed to interview dictators now? Should we also expect sanctions for the New York Times, which fawned over Stalin, Mussolini, and Hitler?
Yeah.
How about Dan Rather for interviewing Saddam Hussein, or Megyn Kelly for also interviewing Putin? That is what journalists do. They get both sides of the story.
I think they don't like Tucker because he is an actual threat in media.
Yeah.
He's got a huge platform, and he's like he can get that Alex Jones level of research without the craziness of Alex Jones, and that's what they're afraid of. Is because he can provide all the facts, he always researches it, and everything he's come out with, he hasn't really been disproven on any of his facts.
No.
They usually just say, oh, that's a right-wing point, and then leave it alone. Like they can't dispute him on it.
No. And if you watch it and you're being fair about it and honest about it, there's not much you can tear apart. You can, I've said before, you can take issue with Tucker, like if he says something like, yeah, dirty immigrants, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, factually, that's probably when you're traveling, a month by foot through jungles, you're probably pretty filthy. But
I'd be pretty filthy.
Yeah. maybe not the nicest way to say it, but I understand what it is. But if you're looking to just pick someone apart because they don't have the same political beliefs that you do, that's an easy one to go after is Tucker. But Tucker has the ear of the nation in a lot of respects.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of people listen
when
to him.
He left Fox and he started dropping those really big stories about what was going on at Fox, and then he started doing the Dominion voting, which is kind of why he got booted from Fox, because that was what he was attacking the hardest.
Yeah.
And I think after he got booted from that, and everyone was like, well, I'm curious about why all this election fraud happened, he brought that whole platform with him.
Yeah.
And I don't think Fox expected him to bring the whole platform with him.
He was shitting on a lot of the narrative about big pharma funding media. Which was probably, they were having trouble getting advertisers for Tucker's show. It's not worth it, for advertisers going, I got to deal with all these loudmouth assholes claiming I'm a communist and a fucking whatever because I advertise on Tucker's show.
Yeah.
So they're constantly going after advertisers in the most un-American way possible, in my opinion, my humble opinion, not yours, I understand. But, so it's like, how do we silence people that don't agree with 100% of we think? Well, let's attack their advertisers. And those advertisers...
Let's just cut their money off.
They're not up for the fight like Tucker is.
No,
Tucker will fucking... He's not going to cave to anybody. That's like expecting Glenn Beck to cave. Not going to happen.
No.
It's just not going to happen. You don't have to agree with him if you don't want, but he's not going to cave to your demands or your wishes or your boycotts.
They know
it's
the advertiser's number one goal is to sell the product, and if something's mad at their product, they're going to pull whatever they can to make it less mad.
Yeah. Yep. That's the easy way to go.
It's the easiest way to kick someone's legs out from under them, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. It's sad. It's too bad.
And according to, it took me a second, that's what I was looking up over here. The United States, according to usafacts.org, has sent $113 billion. And I say according to USA Facts because I was reading a bunch, and there were a lot of them saying like upwards of 75 million, upwards of 60 million or billion. And I'm like,
yeah,
you're not giving me a number. You're just giving me upwards of 75 billion. I'm like, okay, so you're saying it could be 75 billion or it could be 200 billion. Yeah.
What did the number say? 113?
113.4, and that's the highest number I've seen so far.
Wow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a little higher than that, but if that, that's plenty. It's plenty. $113 billion.
It's more than I like.
Dude, it was not that long ago that everything was measured in millions. This idea that things are, like, I'd never even heard the word trillion growing up. Like, that wasn't
United States debt. That's the only time you ever heard the word trillion.
Right. And how rare was that? But it wasn't, nothing was measured in that. It was like, you think about the border wall, $5 billion, which is just a piss in the bucket.
I was going to say,
it's nothing.
Compared to what we sent to Ukraine and Israel combined.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
It's nothing.
They sneezed that out.
But when they first started saying that, when Trump was on about it, they weren't talking trillions of dollars back then or hundreds of billions. Like hundreds of millions was holy shit, we're spending hundreds of millions on something. Billions was a totally different level. Now it's like 5 billion. It's like, well, just write them a check.
Yeah.
Whatever, 5 billion, that's nothing.
We'll get that back.
Yeah, we hear that all the time, and it's nuts. So, yeah, 5 billion for a border wall seems like nothing now. PETA. Do you have much of a stance on PETA?
I don't like them.
No.
I, again, worked as a butcher. We had a couple PETA people come out sometimes. They were never too crazy. They didn't do, like, big protests, but we'd get people who'd come in our store and just tell us that we're animals and meat's murder. Like, we just get those people every once. Usually, you know what it was?
Did you say, I'm the one back here holding a fucking butcher's knife?
Yeah, but usually what it was, and that's the funniest part, is I come out of the back room with a knife in my hand covered in blood, just like, yeah, okay, and I'm well aware that they're animals. I get that part, but you want to buy a steak or not? That's funny. But they wouldn't, like, throw red paint. No, they didn't throw red paint at the building or anything. Usually, I think what it was is you'd get, like, a guy in there trying to buy some burgers for, like, a barbecue, and his girlfriend would come in behind him, like, I just don't agree with what's going on in here.
Really?
Yeah. We've had a couple like that. Just like, he'd be sitting there and there might be a little bit in a different area and you go up to her like, hey, can I help you with anything? No, you can't. All right. I don't even want to be here right now. You're lucky he's here. Wow. I'm like, okay, you don't have to give me attitude. All right. I get it. Do your thing.
You came into my store, bitch. Why wouldn't she just wait in the car?
Just wait in the car.
Yeah. What are you doing in here? She just wanted to be mad. Twat. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes people just want to be mad. I think that's happened on like 3 different occasions in the 5 years.
Hilarious. Well, PETA, it seems like they're more interested in pissing people off than making real change on stuff. Because I'd be all about it. I can't watch the stuff. I'd rather bury my head than watch chickens the way they're raised
Yeah.
and slaughtered. Like, it sucks, man. It just does. But they're so delicious. I can't stop eating chicks, and I love it. I ate chicken last night.
Yep.
So, PETA, in this case, has released an open letter to Chance Rides. So these are like, the little fucking kiddie rides outside of like a store or something.
Like the little horses and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Urging them to cease manufacturing animal designs as it unintentionally celebrates exploitation. So the plastic horse you're talking about, that
the
rocks
little
back
Meyer horse
for a nickel or
His
whatever.
name's Sandy.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Yeah. Those are apparently bad news, and we need to stop doing
See, that's the thing is PETA is one of those groups that had it is Sandy, by the way, but
Yeah.
PETA is one of those groups.
Can't believe you know the name of the fucking animal.
I've been on one before as an adult, just as a joke.
Yeah.
But
I've seen
I
like
remember that.
rocket ships,
Yeah.
turtles.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, these
everything, little roller coasters. But
yeah, a little train caboose or
this is
something, whatever it is.
the problem with PETA and a lot of these organizations where it's like you have a great start. Black Lives Matter, perfect example. You had a great start, a good message.
Yeah,
What the fuck happened?
yeah. Greed and grift.
It's like, oh, hey,
takes over.
factory farming's bad. Let's be nice to animals. Also, no plastic animals allowed to be rides.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what? Hold on.
Like, I don't know who makes the jump from like, oh yeah, I want to murder every animal I can because I used to ride a fucking fake plastic giraffe at the parking lot
Yeah.
of Meyer when I was a kid. Like, really?
You ever sit outside of Walmart and just go, man, that little plastic car over there makes me want to kill an animal?
Yeah. No, I haven't. And neither has anyone else, which is why this is so silly. So they go on. PETA President Ingrid Newkirk, I bet she's a ball to hang out with. I bet, if I had to guess, Ingrid is fun at parties.
Yeah, I don't.
Can you imagine?
I don't want to.
Yeah, the PETA president, my guess is she's a blast at parties.
I'm one of those people who can't bite my tongue when I have to say something, so I do not want to imagine
Yeah,
that.
I'd leave. I wouldn't even want to be around her because I would definitely offend her. And I can't imagine her going to a party that had any sort of, food offering that involving animals or whatever. So I wouldn't want to be at that party anyways. So she argued Chance Ride CEO Aaron Landrum could instead create figures of bulldozers and cars and spaceships, engaging the imagination of youngsters through human talent. Okay, they do that already.
Humans also were talented enough to domesticate the horse.
Yeah,
That's
true.
human talent.
Yeah, very true. So they have received some backlash with people pointing out there are maybe some bigger issues out there to focus on. Instead of worrying about monkeys being smuggled across the border, torturous animal testing, and pointless lab experiments, etc., PETA is taking aim at carousels, laughing my ass off. The activist group have called for animal-themed amusement rides to be scrapped because they believe it would be a huge hit against industries that continue to use animals for entertainment, such as dolphin shows and camel rides. Well, then why not go after dolphin shows and camel rides?
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing out in front of a Meyer? Trying to shut that doesn't make any sense.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you guys had a good start, and some people can get behind your message. But why are we attacking the wrong thing?
Yeah.
Because you've just lost everybody at once, all support. And then next time you come up with an actually good idea or like, hey, we found a solution to factory farming,
Yeah.
no one's going to believe you.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to ban plastic horses.
Well, I look at someone like Ricky Gervais, and he posts some horrific. He'll like tweet out some horrific videos of dogs being skinned alive in China. At some farm. Of course, it makes the meat, more tender or whatever the fuck stupid excuse they have for torturing animals. But he's not goofy about it, and he's like, "Yes, I used to eat meat. I don't anymore. This is my stance." And people still give me shit. "Well, you used to eat meat." It's like, okay, so everything I did when I was younger applies to me now. Like, that's the dumbest thing ever. Like, do you want nobody to evolve, to grow up, to have different? Do you think all of my views on the world and how it is are the same now as they were when I was 20? That's insane. It doesn't make any sense.
Not at all.
And, at least anyways, his views have changed. He's changed. It's like, okay, good for you. But he's not going to force me to do it. He understands
he's
why
like,
other
hey,
people eat meat.
I switched up. Here's why.
Yeah.
They're horrific posts. He's like, hey, This is why I switched. But he's not saying, if you're eating this, you're the problem. You're a mess.
Right.
He's just saying, this is why I do it.
This is why I do it.
And I can respect that.
I can too. And it makes me want to support him when he posts something like that. It's like, yeah, we can all agree that's horrific behavior going on. And I don't like that any more than you do. So suggesting the move would, if they get rid of these plastic animal rides, would teach children to have respect and compassion for living creatures. It could help create a more merciful world. Boy, oh boy, I think that is way off base.
I was about to just add, if anyone's a betting man, who wants to bet going to get the plastic horses banned first, PETA or an environmental group?
Yeah, the environmental group would make more sense.
I was going to say, they might get the plastic horse banned before PETA.
Yeah, if you get the green Nazis on it, they could, at least
they'd
have an argument
can pull
that
some stuff.
fits.
Like, the reasons we got the paper straws right now. Like, they can actually kind of get some stuff slipped in.
Yeah. Don't you think, I think I could make an argument too that when you ride one of those, like funny, cutesy, cartoonish plastic frogs, like frogs are really ugly in person.
Yeah.
But if you are desensitized to frogs because you ride them at the park and they're on the little spring and you're riding a little froggy and it's like, oh, I love frogs. I love riding my frog at the park. And then you see a frog and it's like, oh, that's a frog like the one I ride. Like it could have that effect. Probably way more than riding on the back of a big plastic one makes you want to go shoot them.
And not even just shoot them. I think they're like, oh, well, we don't like you using animals as tools. But
animals are always used as tools.
Yeah, animals have been used since the beginning of history. The moment we figured out that we can make them do things for us,
hell yeah.
They were all doing things for us.
Yep. And they like it, too. They got jobs.
Yeah. Especially dogs.
Cece's a herder. Yeah. It's so ingrained in her DNA. If your dog gets loose and I go, Cece, go get it, she will literally go and fucking herd that dog back to the house. Like, she just will. It's so ingrained in her. Like, here I am reporting for duties, Dad. And she signs off. She'll go fucking track them down and nip at their ankles and circle them back.
Just knows exactly what to do, how to get on.
Absolutely does. PETA urges chance rides and all other carousel manufacturers to hit the brakes on these old-fashioned animal-themed rides and embrace designs that engage children's imagination and showcase human talent. PETA is targeting children's make-believe, somehow equating this to real-life animal abuse. What's next, PETA? Ban stuffed animals for small children? Why not?
If they're banning a plastic horse in front of a Walmart, might as well ban the stuffed animal horse.
Wouldn't be any less ridiculous. PETA, you people actually hurt your cause when you call for wooden horses not to be used in carousels. You trivialize the meaning of your cause. Blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on. PETA spokesman said, horses don't deserve to be treated as beasts of burden, and they shouldn't be represented that way, especially to impressionable children. PETA's appeal may seem like a blip in the animal rights movement, but we urge people to look deeper and recognize that societal depictions count the way towards matter. Wait, societal depictions count the way towards matter? Depictions count. That doesn't make any sense. So anyway, I don't know. Listen, I when I see PETA, I just think of some fucking overgrown vagine bush, hairy pitted fucking man-hating twat that's destroying their own argument, with stuff like this. It's like, yeah, I can get behind you on like torturing rabbits to make a silkier shampoo.
Yeah,
I'm all for that. And animal testing being run out in so many of those instances, I get it. I'm cool with that. I'd be on board. But it's cruel. This nonsense. Yeah, it's the cruelty of it. It's Fauci. Yeah, and torturing the beagles. Yeah, I mean that story. It as fucking evil as that individual is for planet Earth and for America as a whole. It took that story of putting a basket over beagles' faces, filling them with flies, and letting them eat to death the beagle's face.
Yeah,
puppies, by the way. As they're screaming bloody murder, and we saw a video of that.
Well, they removed the vocal cords so they wouldn't scream anymore.
Oh yeah,
so they were not screaming bloody murder. They were just trying to scream
because
bloody
it was too hard for the doctors to hear the wails of these beagles. And beagles, it works because they're the most trusting animals. They're very, very trusting and loving, and so their human counterpart puts a little basket over their head. They're like, all right, yeah, that's cool. What are we doing with this? And then it's like, wait a minute, and they stuff it with flies and let them eat their faces off. Horrible. But it took people seeing that before they were like, oh, maybe Fauci is a fucking monster.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he was a monster 2 weeks ago before you saw that story too.
Yeah.
Just for the record. Speaking of him, he's got he's releasing a memoir.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was trying to pull up
Yeah, if you got something.
I was trying to pull up the Chance ride, see what they had or what.
Oh yeah, did you find them?
I did, but I tried to pull it up here and it went away. It got stuck somewhere in between the computers.
Ah, boy.
But either way, they have nothing but the only things that actually included horses were just carousels. They had like 3 different merry-go-rounds, and everything else was like regular car rides.
So are those the horse carousels?
Yeah, kind of like the merry-go-rounds where you rent them out, put them in your little spree, or like at the Livonia spree style.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But not
they didn't have any small rides with like plastic animals and stuff, just the carousels.
Okay, so they're not the ones that you'd see like in a park, the metal ones.
No,
that just spin around. They're like the ones that you'd find.
They were like they're like the ones you'd find at Comerica.
Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, I kind of wanted to see some of them.
I know.
Yeah, animals, they use cutesy animals because kids love animals. That's why you use them, not to brainwash children into thinking it's okay to abuse animals. I don't know where you get that from that, If that was the case, then you should have all of those things that they're riding on be like a murderer and a pedophile. If it's something they're going to grow up to want to murder anyways.
I don't think you should let your kid ride a pedophile.
But if he's
going out there on a limb.
If he's going to grow up to murder the pedophile, like
that's true.
Like what they're saying, this leads directly, the connection, them riding a little fucking horse makes them want to murder animals.
By their logic, yeah.
Then fine, make them ride pedophiles around the merry-go-round. And then the logic would say they'd grow up and want to murder pedophiles, like they do with animals.
Well, they obviously did the research.
Yeah, clearly.
Speaking of which, just before we get to the next story, Anthony Tincher said, "Why doesn't Mike have that Ukrainian chick back in anymore?" I think it was a Russian, Jenny Fedorovich.
Oh, Jenny, yeah. You know what? I will have her in. I'm not avoiding her at all. She's right down the road, and she's very busy. She's still one of my favorite people on earth. So no, I'm not avoiding Jenny Fedorovich at all. I love Jen. And I should have her back on. I don't know where she's at. She's probably still all in on Ukraine is under attack from Russia, which I don't know that I just buy that government narrative hook, line, and sinker. I just don't. So
here we go. They got rides, people movers, coasters.
Oh,
but
yeah.
No, they're a legitimate, just big old company. They're not making the small ones.
Oh,
so they make double deckers.
Yeah.
But everything else is just regular Ferris wheels. This freestyle, the little rocking ships that you see at every fair.
What is that? What is that one called?
They call it the Pharaoh's Fury, but I just call it the pirate ship because it's always a pirate ship.
Yeah.
I don't know why they make it Egyptian theme. It's a pirate ship.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's everything they have listed on their site. I don't see anything besides the carousel that would involve animals, and I guess the logo in the back, that's a carousel.
That is the dumbest argument. You would think, because that's got to be spitballed at a round table.
Yeah.
And maybe PETA's point, and I'll give them this, maybe their point is, let's be so fucking absurd that assholes on podcasts are going to have to talk about us and bitch about us. At least our name's getting out there that way.
That could be true.
Where it's like, they just get drowned out in the white noise of murder, meat is murder. Yeah. And everybody goes, yeah, thanks, sweet tits. Beat it.
I don't think their recruitment's very good, so maybe if they just get the word out enough, it's more of a quantity over quality type recruitment.
Yeah.
Like, we can get shit on all the time, but as long as one of those people goes, no, I agree with them, then we got another guy.
Yeah. I just think there's way more, what is the saying about catching, with honey?
Yeah, you can catch a lot of flies with honey.
Yeah, something along those lines. Like being sweet to people, goes a lot further than just being an asshole and a provocateur. And I agree with that. Like, I'd have someone from PETA on if they were fucking cool as shit.
If they could just talk to us and like have a discussion,
fun.
we could go back and forth a little bit. I totally would love to talk to somebody from PETA.
Why not? And you go, you guys are kind of goofy on this one. They're like, yeah.
Actually, I might have a video to show you later because there is a guy who I used to follow on YouTube. Love this guy. He's actually a platinum selling artist, like music producer now, but he used to be just an internet shitlord.
Okay.
So he made this video where
what is an internet shitlord? Someone that shits all over
somebody who basically goes and shit posts on the like posts things to rile people up on purpose.
Yeah.
So he was made this YouTube video once, and it's actually pretty funny. He got a bunch of his friends together to bet on rats. So they put a bunch of rats in or a bunch of mice in like a little box, and they put a snake in the box, and whoever's mouse got eaten first lost the bet. So he did this whole video just like that, and then the joke of the video is he showed the whole video to a PETA member. Like, sat him down and said, can we upload this on YouTube? Is this part okay? And that was the whole guise of the video. That was like how they got it up on YouTube. Like, this isn't animal cruelty. See, we had somebody from the Animal Cruelty Council come in and talk about it.
Oh, wow. That's kind of funny.
So that was his whole way of getting around it. But
That's a circle of life. What are you going to do?
and Marcus here actually made a good point. He said, "Do they not have petting zoos at the fair anymore? Where do petting zoos stand with PETA?"
I haven't seen a petting zoo. Well, let's see.
I've seen them. I've actually saw one recently.
The famous outing I took to the Lavender Fest years ago had a petting zoo, and then I don't know. Is that different from like goat yoga, mini goat yoga?
I don't know, maybe.
Because there's a place in Northern California when you're going to the coast where is that? Like Half Moon Bay, on the way to Half Moon Bay, and I would go by and I'd be whining and they got this like Christmas tree farm like all year, and they grow Christmas trees.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I just went to Sorry, I'm cutting you off.
Yeah.
No, I just saw a petting zoo back in November at a
fair or something.
Why am I forgetting the name of it all? Just like a
like a
cornfield. Yeah, it was just like a little fall fest thing.
Yeah. So I saw one and it was like Christmas trees, and then you get past it and it's like mini goat yoga, and I almost stopped, and I think you do yoga with
I've seen it, yeah.
and then the mini goats get on your back and they walk.
They love
around.
climbing.
Yeah, they love climbing, and they'll get on you and you can play with them. But I would love to do that, except for the yoga part. Like, I don't mind having a goat climb on me.
You just don't want to stretch.
I just don't want to stretch. That sucks. That's really hard too. I don't know if you've ever done yoga, but it's a bitch.
I've done yoga. It's not fun.
Yeah, I'm impressed with people that can do yoga, because I couldn't.
I do
nasty.
so much physical stuff at work. I just consider that my workout, and I go to sleep after that, because it's one of those things where like people are like, "Oh, you should do yoga, get yourself limbered up." I'm like, dude, I go home, I don't want to lift my arms.
Yeah.
They're done for the day. They quit on me.
I mean, I'll watch a gaggle of broads do downward dog all day long.
There you go.
Right? I will. I'll sit and watch that all day. I have no problem.
You'll stand outside the yoga studio with the little smoothie in your hand, just watching them.
Just looking in the window. What are you guys doing in there? And I'm a constant advocate for downward dog. That's my jam. I want all of you. I think we should just have female downward dog classes. Now, you might want male only downward dog, and that's fine.
we could get it. We'll put separate days, so you don't have to worry about my day. I won't worry about your day.
Right. It's like, when you have bachelor parties and the chicks have theirs and the guys have theirs, separate but equal, very much equal. And so you could have a whole classroom of strapping dudes doing downward dog for you, and I just want the hot chicks in their yoga pants.
All yours.
Yeah, I can take those, right?
This is why I never understand why straight people hate gay people. We're just like, yeah, all yours, dude. Have all the women. We're giving you more women.
That's why I love the gay.
Yeah.
I love the gay.
I always tell
zero
people,
competition.
Like, hey, you ever need a wingman, I am probably the best you're going to get.
Yeah. And there's no chance. It's like, wow, it turns out Garrett banged your girl behind your back. Like, that's not going to happen. What are they saying?
Stir Crazy said Garrett needs a little less white balance. He looks like he's turning to or is an albino. I'm just pale.
No, it's probably the light on you.
It might be. I'm just also very pale, reflect light. I'm used to that. It'll get better in the summer, I promise.
No, it's the light on you, because I can see it on the monitor.
Oh.
That you look extra ghostish.
And then Marcus said they don't like it when you just sit at the back with popcorn in a mat. You go in a yoga studio.
Well, how do you know? Have you done that, Marcus?
He said, "Trust me."
Well, yeah, you can't have your dick in your hand, Marcus.
No.
But if you're just sitting there eating popcorn and filming,
it's for later.
Why would anyone have a problem with that?
Yeah.
I don't know a single chick on the planet Earth who would be offended if I sat in the back of the classroom eating popcorn and filming.
Shut up! It's a compliment.
Just doing downward dog. Like, why would they take any offense at that? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Obviously, they're all together doing it. I mean,
they're not nude.
Yeah.
Did you see, by the way, Drake's?
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you see it?
Marina saw it. I have not looked at it yet. It just hasn't crossed me yet. But
I saw it.
She saw it.
Do you want to see it?
All right.
His dick is huge. No, we can't put it up there, but I'll show it to you.
Yeah. I know it was on a yacht, and she said it was weird looking.
No, I think it was on a plane. Was it a yacht?
Maybe.
He's hung like a motherfucker, though. Of course, he's got a huge dick. Hit play on that. Sorry, I wish I could
dude's
show it
laying
to you.
all the way back.
Yeah, he's laying all the way back, and then...
Sorry, you got an iPhone. I have an Android.
Oh, God. What, did you close it?
Yeah, I went to go turn it down, but your lock's where my down volume is.
Here. Don't even worry about turning it down.
I'll put it right up to the mic. Everyone can hear Drake jerking off.
Yeah, there you go. You got to watch it, though, so you can see his giant dick.
That is so weird.
Yeah. Someone's filming him right across the...
No, I think he's filming himself. He's got the phone in his hand. He's filmed himself.
Wait a minute.
That's him laying back on a bed, and there's a mirror in front of him.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's his pants.
Looks like a fake.
So he
dick.
filmed that himself, and he posted it.
Accidentally?
I don't know if it was accidental or not, or if it was a publicity thing.
He made some comment about. I didn't post this for the world to see it. See his comment. He made some smart ass comment about, nobody would want to see this. You know, I'm like saving the world from having to see this or something along those lines. And it's like, oh yeah, people are horrible. Like,
oh, it was a jet.
It was what?
It was a jet. You're right.
Yeah. So he's acting like if he had a micro penis.
Be a little more embarrassing.
Then it would be like,
might just be throwing it out
I was trying to save the world from this. But no, he's got fucking 9 inches of soft dick in his hands.
I don't know if you know the current status of Drake. He's not known as somebody who's tough.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys who started in the rap
Disney
game. He
did,
he was
kid.
not Nickelodeon. He did Degrassi. It was like a weird drama thing.
Yeah, Canadian.
So, yeah, he's like a Canadian drama type show.
Yeah,
but no, it's one of those things where in the rap game he's known as a joke. Like Drake puts out a song and everyone's like, Drake's the type of guy who would like say, "Oh, sorry, ma'am," when dropping something in front of her. It's just like he's very soft. He's very weak.
But then like Eminem loves him, and like there's all kinds of like really well respected rappers.
He works with a lot of high respected people. He makes a lot of money. Nobody takes him seriously as like a hard rapper.
How could you?
And I think he's trying to do
high or whatever it was.
And I think he's been trying to do that for so long. He's trying to show that he's like a gangster like everyone else, and they're all just laughing at him. Like, shut up, Degrassi.
Yeah, Degrassi.
So maybe this is just his way of saying like, I got something too.
Yeah, showing your dick on video. No. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if it's on his phone and he filmed it, I thought that was someone sitting across like the plane from him. Like, oh my God, is this dude jacking off right now in front of me on the plane?
On a private jet too. That'd be a weird part.
Seems weird. Like I've had girlfriends for years.
Assistant, I guess.
Huh?
They could be like an assistant or something on the plane with him that he just starts whipping it out in front of.
Yeah, but dude, I've had girlfriends for years. And I wouldn't just start jacking off in front of them.
No.
Like, at all. I had one girlfriend who liked to do that a lot. She's like, you jack off and I'll fucking... And I'm just like, I'm in my 20s. I'm like, whatever. Seems fucking weird, but okay.
Like, as an adult, I'm kind of like, we're both adults. Just touch it, all right? Like, what the fuck? Why do I have to do this myself?
Yeah, or if I have to do it myself, I don't want you in the fucking
I don't need you watching, all right? Like, I got a routine, all right?
Yeah, it's creepy and it's weird. And God forbid you're filming me.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really weird, and this chick was like, "Oh my God, he's pulling out a giant dick, and I'm gonna film it." But you're right; he was filming himself, and then he posts it. Good Lord.
Yeah, there's no official statement by him. I'm trying to see, but I think on a stream with Aiden Ross, who's a big streamer on Twitch, he said he interacted with the rapper, leaked clip, blah blah blah. Shared what did he say? He said, "Yeah, bro, I'm still live. We were just looking at this shit." Aiden said, and then it's like, crazy, bro, goddamn, you're blessed with this voice and blessed with performing, you're blessed with all this, number one, but you're also blessed to have a fucking missile. So they're all laughing at each other.
Yeah.
And then he said Drake allegedly responded with like a bunch of laughing emojis. So he's kind of taking it a little bit in stride, like,
Yeah, but I'd still love to know how that got out. I mean, I've sent a text to the wrong person before, like, oh, shit,
it happens all the time. I get them all the time.
Yeah.
I've done it to you. I've sent you a text before that was going to my mom just because mom and Mike were next to each other in my contacts.
100%. I've done that. I've sent shit to, I've done that a million times.
Oh, yeah.
But never like a dick pic or a fucking video I shot of my girlfriend nude. Like, I've never accidentally, I don't know.
And that's the weird part too.
Seems like you'd be way more careful with that.
He's such a big celebrity. I feel like there's people managing his social media account. So how did it get posted?
Yeah.
Maybe it was on his phone and one of his social media people said like, oh, I fucking hate this guy now. Somebody he just recently fired was probably sitting on that for a second. Who knows?
Yeah. It's cool for me because I'm not going to go Google it. And it's like, oh, it's being taken down everywhere. I know people that I can reach out to.
I know people we can get it from.
So, yeah, exactly. And I love it. I lean on them. I'm like, I bet you, I'd challenge them. I bet you can't find this video. They're like, send. I'm like, that's what I thought.
There's a lot of corners of the internet they can't take stuff from.
Yeah, I don't know those corners. I've just never
They're not even like bad corners or anything like that. I think it's just there's certain people who are so I'm going to use the term autistic because I am, but it's like there's so many people who are autistic about hoarding any information that goes on the internet that they just immediately they'll see something controversial and just save it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people who do that.
One of my early engineers was like that.
Yep.
Like every video, because you'd be like, hey, remember that video we watched 6 months ago? You'd go back, and if you just tried to go to the active link, that video would be gone 9 times out of 10. Like if it was controversial at the time.
Yeah.
And so the first thing this dude would do is save the shit out of everything. And, he was
which honestly smart.
Gigundous pain in my fucking ass. Otherwise, it would have been a great system to have.
Yeah.
Everything would have been cataloged.
But he's also going to catalog everything you've ever said.
Probably. And, it turned into a nightmare to deal with. But other than that, it would have been a great system.
Yeah.
So now I'm just stuck going, hey, Ron, or whoever. Nerds. I need your help with this one. They're great. Anyway, going back to Fauci, he's got this new book coming out. What a fucking egomaniac, man. Really, 81-year-old man writing a memoir about himself.
He's so important.
And his 40 years in government. Not something to be proud of, sir.
I wonder if he's going to talk about the Beagles.
Yeah, I actually wrote that down. I wonder if he's going to write, because he's talking about how he shot to fame as this infectious disease expert who tackled AIDS, HIV, all the way to COVID. It's like, ooh, you're going to retell stories of when you told kids they could get AIDS from cereal, perhaps? Because that was something he said, too, at one point. Fauci's On Call, a doctor's journey in public service. Public service. What a joke.
Oh, yeah.
Will be available from June 18th. Penguin Random House, of course, snapped it up immediately, paid him over just under $5 million. I hope that this memoir will serve as a professional, personalized document for the reader to understand the daunting challenges that we have faced in public health over 40 years. Yeah, from people like you.
Yeah.
And now nobody trusts you.
And
sorry,
public
nice
health,
work, dickhead.
Especially like you mentioned the AIDS thing. I almost completely forgot that. He set the entire gay community back like 50 years.
Oh, 100%.
I don't know why they love him today. He's the one who started that whole big AIDS rumor that you could get AIDS from only gay people just by contact.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And cereal.
Yeah.
Like if you had someone with AIDS in the house, they could give it to the kid.
People think his mask mandate were killing people, man. He was killing people long before that with bad mandates.
Long before, yes. I would also like to inspire younger individuals in particular to consider careers in public health and public service. Yeah, lie, get rich, and have no consequences. That's how it's worked out for you. Why wouldn't you want other people to get into that? You're the highest paid government member out in the country. Like, Fauci served under 7 presidents, starting with Reagan. He's best known for his time with Trump's administration when he and the White House often clashed over how to respond to the coronavirus. Sorry, I think Trump won that one in the end.
Trump caved a lot on Fauci. See, that's one of the things
He
that I
did
will
early
say. Like,
on.
I'm not a full-on Trump supporter because Trump did have a lot of problems with how he handled COVID. And granted, it was a new thing when he was dealing with it, but he didn't take any of it back afterwards.
No.
He still hasn't apologized for his vaccine
he's a
stuff.
dope, though.
Yeah.
Trump's a fucking big-mouth dope in a lot of respects.
100%.
So nobody knew shit. But in the end, I think Trump's natural inclination was, no, fucker, if I give you the keys to lock down the country for 2 weeks, hilarious. You're going to lock it down for 2 years. And you're going to fight tooth and nail to keep it locked down. And you're going to, he saw through that nonsense, which was absolutely right. Whether Trump came up with that on his own or someone came up with that for him.
No, he did come back on he came back on the lockdown thing. It's just the vaccine thing. He still is one of those it's one of those little button issues where it's like, hey man, all your supporters don't like the vaccine, but you're still one of those guys promoting it.
Yes. Well, why? Because it ups Trump. Trump loves being able to say, Operation Warp Speed was my thing.
I brought the vaccine. It was the best.
As if he was in the basement of the White House stirring chemicals and came out with Operation. I mean, it's a joke. But someone like Trump wants credit for that.
My team, the best team.
It was not Kamala Harris or whatever, however you say that bitch's name. It wasn't Dead Man Biden. It was me, Operation Warp Speed. Like, he loves saying that. He loves being able to say that.
And I think he probably went so hard on it, he can't really renege on it anymore.
No. So, millions regarded Fauci with his raspy voice and plain-spoken style as the government's trusted point man during the heights of the pandemic. How stupid do you people feel that did that? You're the same morons, by the way, who treated New York Governor Andrew Cuomo the same way. Yeah. Wanted him to run for president. He was all-knowing.
He was a hero.
Because he was soft-spoken and he held press conferences. He was insane and full of shit.
a daytime Emmy for his.
Yes.
Yeah.
His book reading. Or something, wasn't it? He got a daytime Emmy for.
Yeah, he got. I think it might have been his news story or whatever, his interviews.
He did like a daily brief. Was it the daily briefings, or was it him reading his own book?
Let me look it up. I got the internet radio.
Something like that. Republicans and anti-vaxxers, which pisses me off. Are there anti-vaxxers? Obviously, there are people that don't, under any circumstance, trust government agencies, and they for whatever their reasons are, they don't believe in vaccines. Those people exist. They're few and far between. This idea of anti-vaxxers, well, just because this vaccine I didn't trust makes me an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm ashamed that I got the first 2 shots. Absolutely ashamed.
I got them both for my job because I was like, I'm just going to get these shots of me and get on with my life. And guess what? They did nothing for me but make me feel like shit.
Yeah, they didn't even make me feel like shit. I felt fine, and then...
And here's the worst part. I went 2 years through the COVID pandemic before I even got boosted or anything or shots or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
And I was working a public service job, like a customer-facing job as the butcher at the time, right? It's one of those things where it's like I did customer service this whole time. Obviously I took care of myself, washed my hands and stuff like that, but I never got sick. I never had COVID. I didn't even have any
Yeah, me either.
I wasn't even one of those people like, oh yeah, in 2019 I had a scratchy throat. I probably already had COVID. But
yeah,
all of a sudden I got the vaccine. I went out, did some Scotland things, and obviously, traveling on planes and stuff, that's a good chance to get sick. I got more sick than I have ever been in my life, and that's post 2 vaccines.
Really?
It was the sickest I've ever been in my life. Yeah, it was COVID.
Yeah. See, I never got it. Never got it.
You don't leave much.
Yeah, that's true. No, dude, I was driving cross country.
Oh yeah,
I went from Michigan to Arizona to San Diego to LA to San Francisco, back to Arizona, back to San Diego, back to Arizona, and back to Michigan. Then flew to Arizona, picked up Cece, and flew her back home.
Yeah.
So I did shit tons of traveling. I was out a lot, actually.
It might have also just been my immune system because I was with my brother the whole time in Scotland.
Yeah.
We were partying a little bit, right? As you do in Glasgow.
Yeah, and, I've heard that partying, like really going hard in the paint.
We were going hard in the paint. And this is 2022.
It'll run your immune system down a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've got a compromised immune system, those were the people that were most affected by it. So
it's funny.
A lot of people have that story of like partying hard all night and then the next day feeling like shit. And then
I
really
thought I was
like
hungover.
Shit.
And it turned out I just had COVID, but I thought I was having the worst hangover.
Yeah, but you were in Europe, dude. You don't get hangovers.
I had to go through a wedding with it.
Yo,
yeah,
that was smart. Never crossed your mind that maybe the global pandemic was hitting you?
But granted, it was also 2022. We were on like the tail end. Things were open again. Like we were partying without masks on in Europe. So it's like that's how far past COVID we were. And mind you, my brother made out with like a random chick. He was with all these people. He was going crazy because he could drink over there at 20.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I was, being the responsible older brother. I was like, let's let him have fun. I'm sitting there with one of my friends. She's like, well, we're going to let him have fun and party out tonight. So he was going ballistic in the bars.
Yeah,
had the greatest time ever, made out with a random chick, had all this crazy stuff. We get back to the Airbnb we're staying in. I got COVID. He never got anything.
Yeah.
And I was the guy sitting in the back of the bar just like, you go have fun, man. I'll be right over here. When you're ready to go, let me know.
Yeah. It's great.
I don't know how it works, but that's how it works.
Yeah. No, how I never got it, I was the only one in the family that absolutely unequivocally was like, fuck all this.
Yeah.
I wore a mask under protest every single time, and I wore it so sloppily that it was obvious.
I wore it at work under protest.
Yeah, it was always under protest and always really sloppy. Half a lip hanging out on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing I'm being a dick, and it's like, let's see at what point they
Everybody
call it
at my
out.
job started growing beards because you could throw a mask over a beard and like, look, we're helping because it did nothing.
Yeah, of course not. So Republicans and anti-vaxxers have since criticized Fauci relentlessly in a wide range of issues and have written books attacking him, including Senator Paul's Deception, the Great COVID Cover-Up, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s The Real Anthony Fauci. Yeah, I haven't finished that book. I do have that book, The Real Anthony Fauci. It's terrifying. Last month, Fauci underwent a 2-day grilling by Congress, during which he confessed that the lab leak, the idea COVID was engineered, actually released from a lab in Wuhan, was not a conspiracy theory. Oh, so that means you were lying to Congress for multiple years.
You ruined so many careers.
So many. Destroyed businesses, shut down schools, destroyed learning.
And then when those people were
and
spoke up a little bit like, hey.
The flies on the beagles, man. Good. Are you going to get into that since that came out?
It better be in the book. If it's not, I'm writing the book too.
I agree.
I'll just start researching.
Let's see. Oh, we got Virginia. God, it's amazing how often Fairfax County schools in Virginia are in the papers, and like they just can't stop being fuck ups, man. And I don't know. I just don't think of people in Virginia as being this crazy when it comes to, they were the ones that the boy in a skirt went into the bathroom, and raped the girl, and then they were like, "Oh my God, it's a trans person." Yeah, and then they shipped that kid to another school, and he promptly raped another girl at school. So it didn't work out for them, and they got a lot of guys lost their job. That board all got blown out. But it still seems like every time I turn around, Fairfax, Virginia school boards are pulling some fucking weird shit. And here's the latest: they've got Virginia's largest school division put a sex therapist in charge of deciding whether to heed parent complaints about books that may be inappropriate for children. So you're the referee. This sex therapist, and I'll get into this person's background. Fairfax County School Board Chair Carl Fritsch, a gay activist who recently became chairman of the school board, appointed Layla Cooper, a sex therapist, to the Challenged Materials Interdepartmental Review Committee. This committee is activated only if a Fairfax County or city resident without a student enrolled in the school submits a formal request to remove a book or other media. If a request is received, committee members will review the request, read or view the material, identify, evaluate, and discuss the request, submit an individual vote to uphold or deny removal of the material from the school system, which will always end up in denial, in my opinion. They're never going to be like, oh, yeah, this is inappropriate for kids. Yeah. And then when you look who they've got
it
appointed.
Usually takes those videos of the person standing up in the school council, whatever.
Yeah,
reading the book
those are
itself.
hilarious.
Oh, I love them.
Those are hilarious.
And they're like, sir, you can't
this
swear
is
in
inappropriate.
Here. Don't say that word in here. I'm like, well, this is the book you're teaching kids.
Yeah, you want my 2-year-old to fucking read this, but I can't read it out loud in a parental fucking meeting
with a bunch
council?
of adults?
Yeah, hilarious.
That's all right.
We're muting your mic, ma'am. You're muting your mic. And they've got charts. They're hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
These poor parents. I just can't imagine our parents having to deal with that.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like,
no.
I don't think it would have gone over well. I really don't.
I think my brother graduating high school in that last year of COVID was enough to break the camel's back on how hard school is going to get.
Yeah. It's not going to get easy.
No, because we eked out like right at the last second. It was okay.
Really?
Yep.
The appointment of Layla Cooper, okay, the sex therapist. I'm assuming Layla Cooper is a chick. Could be wrong. Could be a trans person. I don't know. I don't know what Layla Cooper is. Sex therapist, provocative gesture in. The sex therapist is a provocative gesture intended to signal that although school system technically has a process for registering complaints about obscene materials, such complaints are likely to be thrown in the trash. Yeah, that's the only reason you'd hire. It'd be the same thing if you went, oh yeah, we've put our pastor in charge of being the final judge about what inappropriate material is.
Damn it, I lost this one again too. Things just keep getting lost.
Yeah, that happens sometimes. What is it? What are you pulling
up?
Oh,
I pulled up, I think I got the right Dr. Layla Cooper, and I was going to pull up her
little
splash page here, because it just got a big gay flag right at the bottom of it.
Yeah, of course. In a professional bio, Cooper states, okay, this is important. I work from an affirming and social justice approach. Yuck. So affirming is like, whatever you say you are, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, here you go. I think this is her page. Dr. Lila H. Cooper,
probably.
Psychologist.
Does it say where she is? Certified sex. It's got to be her.
Yeah.
There's Fairfax, Virginia.
Yep, Fairfax, Virginia. Oh,
there you go.
Big gay flag right at the bottom. No reason for it.
Hell yeah. So she works social justice, affirming and social justice approach with the LGBTQIA community and people of color. And I am a kink and non-monogamy informed and affirming. My work is focused on sex and gender issues, including trans issues, sexual orientation, kink/BDSM, interpersonal relationships, including couples, polyamory, family dyads. Family dyads, is that just a small group, like a husband and wife could be a family dyad?
I think a family dyad type deal is like a family or two families living together as like a weird relationship.
I thought it was just like a mom and a son can be a family dyad, or husband and wife. What's polyamory?
That's
is that multiple families?
That's multiple partners.
Multiple partners.
Yeah, so that's like I have a boyfriend, a girlfriend, another girlfriend. I don't get that. Yeah. It's polygamy.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
But without the marriage.
Cooper's work, according to her website, includes but is not limited to navigating non-monogamy, open relationships, swingers, monogamish, thruples, kinky sex, group sex, fetish, painful sex, difficulty with orgasm, erection issues, shame and anxiety related to sex, out of control sex behaviors, sexual orientation and gender transition. I work with all genders. You mean both? Sexualities and relationship formats from an informed, non-judgmental, affirming, and celebratory stance. Well, that sounds like the person we want in charge.
I'll put it like this:
if she's the new president of the sex club,
yeah,
downtown,
I was about to just say,
the
like,
dungeon,
if she's just
fine.
doing this by herself, cool,
Yeah.
do your thing. But why is she in charge of a school program?
Right.
For kids.
Right. It seems like you've got
Sounds
your
like-
credentials don't match up with what this is.
And then-
Sounds like you're an expert in very, 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 very mature and adult topics.
A lot of that was hard
not
stuff.
shit for
It's like that's
kindergartners.
not just front page Pornhub stuff too. That's like
Yeah.
hard stuff.
hard stuff, like all of it.
That's the I paid the premium subscription
Yes.
for this.
And when you put in there no judgment, it means I don't care if you want to shit in my mouth. No judgment. Like no matter what fucked up thing you're into, I'm cool with it.
Oh yeah, and you're right. Family Diet, it's 2 people.
Family Doc. Okay.
Yeah, so-
Okay. She also writes doctor's notes intended to help illegal immigrants convince a court that they need asylum. Okay, so she's going to help try to cheat the system and write notes for these people. Like, here's exactly what you say to the judge. Here's how you say it. And then they won't be able to deny your asylum claim. Even though we all know it's a bullshit asylum claim, this is how the system's rigged, and here's how to get around it.
You said the right word.
That's
So
all
here
that
you go.
means.
You military-age male from this
Yeah.
country.
Brooke Corbett, a Fairfax mother, said she feels the school system, school board members live in an alternate reality for thinking that of all the county's 1.4 million residents, someone who makes their living affirming kinks would be the right person to decide whether residents are correct to think a book is inappropriate. Yeah, sounds completely out of line for me, but we're seeing this every day, so what the hell do I know? A professional assigned to a panel to adjudicate what is deemed appropriate material flagged by concerned taxpayers will most certainly be biased in the determination of what's appropriate to sit on our kids' school library shelves, what's presented to them in classrooms and assemblies, what's sanctioned to be presented in after-school clubs. The biases someone like Cooper brings to the role promotes and enables grooming behavior of our children, plain and simple. Now, Fritsch, the one that hired Layla, is a career Democrat operative who in 2019 ran for the school board, despite the fact that he has no children and no college degree.
I feel like if this is just my own personal rule, if you're going to be a part of the school board, I feel like you should have a kid in the district.
Yeah.
Just at least like, hey, you got a dog in the fight.
I would 100% agree with that my whole life.
Yeah.
However, I'm trying to think right now, does that really matter? If you've got the kid's best interest and you love...
I can see that point too, but I personally still think it should just you
Yeah.
should have a dog in the fight. I feel like it should be you should have something that's going to affect your kid,
What if
so
you
want to do
had
the best job.
What if you had a kid that graduated, they're not in it, but they went through the system?
I still think you should lose your spot on the school board and do something else.
Really?
Get into politics.
Yeah.
The school board is just a starting platform for the local governor.
I understand that argument. I have a little different take where it's like, hey, if I kind of agree. It just that's why they put it in the article. It sounds weird when you go, by the way, he's never had kids and he never went to college. Yeah. You go, why would this fucking asshole be in charge of the school board?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? How did you come to this? And then if you want to have thinking like, maybe that person wants to get involved for nefarious reasons. Maybe they want to help the grooming process alone. Why else would you want to deal with toddlers? A, you don't have kids. B, you don't have a college degree.
Yeah.
Why are we putting you in charge of there? What is your point here? And then the first hire you make is some kink BDSM master who's involved with painful sex, shameless sex, poly whatever, trans this, and I want to help illegals fake the system out to get into this country and stay here on a bullshit
You
asylum
got
claim.
like everything at once.
Yeah. Like, okay, at what point am I just crazy? Or does this sound like you might be up to something else here? I don't know.
That's all right. They're already covering up the story.
So after he was elected to office, this is Fritz. His Twitter account, on which he often posted school board content, followed multiple accounts dedicated to tweeting hardcore porn.
Oh, great.
Can you imagine? Well, you're younger, so I don't know about your group. But when I was growing up, if there was a teacher that you found out had a fucking Hustler subscription that they accidentally brought into school, they'd be so done. They'd be done. Like, these are our children.
Even in my day, you'd be done. And it wasn't even just porn or anything like that. You'd be done if you brought in like a magazine like like hunting magazine with a gun in it.
Really?
Yeah, teachers would get fired for that.
Wow. I could see that's a little far, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but,
I think, especially in Michigan, where we're like a big deer hunting state. A lot of my teachers I knew were hunters.
But if you walked by the teacher's car in the teacher's parking lot and saw a Hustler magazine or Cherry magazine or something on the seat, and rumors started going around the school, they would absolutely deem that guy unprofessional in this situation, and he'd be gone. It doesn't mean he can never work again, or maybe he can't get a job in another school district. But no, anything that would bring that, when you're talking about children, there was just no, the lines were so bright and you don't cross them. Like this shit, okay, you're posting school board content from your Twitter. At the same time, you're following accounts dedicated to tweeting out hardcore fucking
Hopefully
porn.
Not from the school account.
Yes, it sounds like the same thing, same Twitter account. So he's often posting school board stuff, and then he's following accounts with gay.
So it's probably his personal account,
porn.
and he's just retweeting the school stuff, and then
I
also
guess
doing his thing.
When he was sworn in for his second term, this sounds totally normal. I don't, no judgment here. He took his oath of office with his hand not on a Bible, but on a stack of books depicting gay sex.
Faggot. I'm sorry. You know what? Back to that Louis C.K. joke, man. There's gay and there's faggot. That's faggot.
That's faggot stuff right there.
That's faggot shit.
You've got your hand on a stack of gay porn books. Now, are you just trying to be an asshole at that point? You've got to be, right?
Look, This is big attention.
Sexual orientation is a primary focus of his interest in policy. In 2012, he warned that if Mitt Romney won the presidency, Romney would modify the U.S. Constitution. Wow, that's interesting. How is Romney going to do that?
Obviously, with all his unlimited power.
Sure.
His powers.
And then he was going to force all gays to leave the country.
Well, yeah, he has the magic underwear to do so, right?
Right. Yeah, I didn't know you could do that you could just modify the U.S. Constitution and then kick all the gays out. It's pretty cool.
I'm surprised they haven't yet.
Yeah.
They're annoying.
If not Romney, why not someone else?
Yeah.
Come on, let's go.
Trump's Hitler, right?
Yeah, of course. Trump would love
No, they
to
already
do
said
that.
he's going to be a dictator on his first day in, right?
Yeah, that's probably the
You could
day
totally
he
just
kicks
make it
all
happen.
fags out of the country.
Hey, it's been nice knowing you.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do this remote from now on.
We can do this remote. Don't worry about it.
Cool,
You still
cool. As
have
long as
a
I'm still-
place here.
That's all I need.
And I want to be clear. I do not want you kicked out of the country. It's unfortunate that they're going to ratify the Constitution and boot you, but I'm not for it.
That's all right.
for
We're
the
like 30
record.
minutes from Canada, and they love gay people there.
By the way, he's one of these clowns that won his seat by raising money nationally. So a shitload of money poured in from California to some small election in Virginia. Awesome when that stuff happens. So he was hitting up raising money from leftist activists across the country by invoking gay issues, tapping people in places like California and so forth. So in 21, Fairfax Review Committee voted to keep genderqueer, we've talked about that book before, in schools, claiming that the cartoon is scientifically based and that its images of a woman blowing a trans person do not qualify as obscene.
I mean, I watch a lot of hentai, too. I wouldn't share it with anyone.
Right? And if you're an adult, if you're into
exactly.
that, knock yourself out. So, okay, so you've got a woman blowing a trans person. That doesn't qualify as obscene.
No,
it could have been woman blowing a straight person, woman eating the box of another woman,
Trans person eating the box of a woman.
trans person blowing another trans person, fucking whatever. All of it is obscene
Tuesday
for
night
a
at my house.
child.
Who knows?
A review committee also said the book Lawn Boy, which includes, what if I told you I touched another guy's dick?
Oh.
What if I told you I sucked it? I was 10 years old, but it's true. I sucked Doug Goebel's dick. Has literary value as a narrative representing the perspective of a significant portion
eloquently
of
put.
Fairfax schools.
It's all right. Fairfax Schools is going to be okay because I looked them up to try and get some info as we were doing this, and 12 hours ago they have a non-fatal student overdose reporting.
Oh,
so
nice.
the news has already been gone. They have fatal overdoses now.
Excellent.
I just looked it up to see what was going on over there, and that's the first thing that popped.
Honestly, if half the students in the school district were blowing Doug Goebel's dick, if they were all sucking Doug Goebel's dick, whatever.
No.
That's for them to deal with. But at some point, somebody has to be on a higher, more responsible level and go like, look, children, everybody who knows Doug Goebel in the community knows that Goebel wants you to suck his dick and he wants to suck your little tiny dicks. That's what Doug Goebel does.
That's why
it's
he has
not
to go
a badge
door
of
to door.
honor to blow Doug Goebel. Certainly not a badge of honor at 10 years old to be blowing Doug Goebel. No. It's just not. And I'm so shocked that I need to be the adult in the fucking school district that needs to tell you guys, hey, head on a swivel, boys and girls. Doug Goebel wants you to blow him. Starting at 10, by the way. Inappropriate. Now, I'm not saying down the road, you hit 18, you want to blow Doug Goebel every day after school, knock yourselves out. But right now, it's inappropriate for this particular group of people.
I'm just going to go out, and this is my little conspiracy brain right here. So Fairfax County, Virginia, I think a reason a lot of these things are happening down there, especially the gay, trans, whatever crazy movement that the government's pushing, is also the base of the United States CIA.
Oh, in Fairfax?
Fairfax County, yeah. Langley, Virginia is the base of the United States CIA.
Is that Langley?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's in Fairfax County, so I think maybe the Fairfax County schools are a testing ground for something, but that's just me being a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, or they're trying to change the narrative, so every time you think of Langley, Virginia,
it's not the CIA.
You're thinking of 10-year-olds blowing Doug Goebel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like, we're not testing aliens over here. We're not doing this or that. Did you guys hear Doug Goebel's fucking getting blown by all the 10-year-old boys in class? Like, and people get outraged about that, then that's a win for the CIA.
Yeah.
I would agree.
I don't know, just a little connection. I was like, wait a second, isn't CIA over in that area?
Yeah, it's a good call.
Oh, shit, they are. Same county.
Good call. Yeah, Langley. Why don't we do some emails? I'm going to piss my pants.
All right.
So I don't want to do that. My type 2 diabetes is a problem. I've had so much trouble getting my meds. And when I don't take my meds regularly, the pill I have to take in the morning, it makes me drink 10 gallons of water a day and piss constantly. It's driving me nuts. So I apologize. We're gonna wrap up a few minutes early. Don't worry though. I will do a bunch of Drew and Mike pause this weekend. So for members out there, you like
I love
it too.
Them. Well, it's like radio from a time I wasn't alive for. You know,
does it stand up to someone like you that wasn't alive?
I like it. You know what it is? There's a big push for nostalgia in media right now, and it's kicking a lot. And I love watching nostalgia shit, even for stuff like I grew up with in the early 2000s, because that's now nostalgia.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of early 2000s radio to me is something that I just grew up with and always had on in the background.
Well, your dad was cool. He probably had that shit on all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
He was a garbage truck driver, so he loved Drew. You guys were the highlight of his day for most days.
Oh, for most people around here.
Especially somebody working early mornings on the road all day.
Yeah. Can you answer me this question? I think this is for you, Garrett.
Uh-oh.
What's with the brown circle on the pride flag? What is that? I don't even know what they're talking about.
Oh my gosh!
Isn't it like a diamond? That's the pride? That's the
there is
trans
a brown circle on it now. They change the flag so often I can't keep up because I'm terrible at being gay.
Yeah, you're a shitty gay.
I know. I was about to joke when we ever have Dave Landau back. I just want to start being quarter gay Garrett.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Well, yeah, I can be you're here.
Yeah.
I'll fill in. I'll make it feel.
Dude, I want to call him right now and invite him back in just so you can do that.
Oh yeah. Well, last time you had him, he made fun of me. Then I was like.
Did he?
I was at work. He's just made a comment about like my dick or something, right? It was just like
about your dick.
Yeah, it was
personally
because you brought up the woke bay, right? And it just an offhanded comment that he just kind of like a throwaway joke, and I was like, I did not expect to wake up today and have Dave Landau make fun of my dick.
Oh, Dave's the best. That's a badge of honor.
Oh yeah,
to have Dave Landau make fun of your
everybody loves him. I listen to other podcasts where he's kind of like. There's a running joke on another podcast I listen to. I'm not going to give him a bunch of publicity unless they want to work with it. Anyways.
Yeah.
No, there's a running joke where one of the hosts has connection issues. They'll replace his camera with a picture of Dave Landau, and they just start going, he's so nice. Like, this isn't even a bit. He's just so nice.
Yeah. What show is it?
It's Revenge of the Cis.
Revenge of the Cis?
Yep.
Okay.
Great show. Highly recommend. It's a very, you can only find him on Rumble. I'll put him like that.
Revenge of the Cisgender?
Yeah.
Like, what is that? Straight males?
Straight males, yep.
Straight white males?
Yep.
Or is it just straight males?
Straight males.
Straight males. So what's with the brown circle on the pride flag? Where does it end? And you are correct, sir. Give them an inch, they take a mile. I say that about most things. That's not like, oh, the gay community, you give them inches. Because I believe the gay community should have as many inches as they want. They deserve as many inches as they can
want
handle.
As many inches as they can get.
As many as they can handle, they should be.
They want more than they can handle. Give them more inches.
I say to the gay community, take all the inches you can get for miles. I don't care about that. They were discriminated in a horrible way for a long, long time about marriage. They should be as miserable as we are. And so let them all get married. Who cares? But yes, these other groups and the gay community. I'll be honest with you, Garrett. Your community has disappointed me quite a bit.
They're disappointing me too. That's,
it's
hard for me to associate with them
because I don't think it's all of them. I think there's just normal like you.
There's a lot of
there's
like me.
normal fags like you that are just going about their day that don't need to wear a fucking outfit and a glowing helmet. Telling
for
everybody.
Every gay guy yelling at everybody else, there's another gay guy going, "What up, fag?" to his friends.
Exactly. And if you know that, but those people don't get the press.
No,
you don't hear from those people. But I love it when it's like, get out of here. Steve's gay. I had no fucking idea.
Oh,
it's
I hear that all the time.
Yeah. With you.
I got the funniest story about that.
About you being gay?
About me being gay.
Why? What happened?
I was
and be quick, because I got to piss like a race.
Sorry. I was with my boss. We were unloading a truck, heavy stuff and stuff, right? And me and my coworker are trying to get stuff out. And my boss is going, "Oh, you got to get your arms ready. You got to impress the ladies out there. You're never going to get ladies with arms like that." And my coworker just goes, "Yo, he's gay." And he just panic face.
Froze.
And then he goes, "My wife and I do a lot for the gay community." And it was the funniest. We say that all the time. Every time he starts yelling at us, it's like, but he does a lot for the gay community.
He does, yeah. Isn't that funny? Yeah. The panic that sets in.
He just panicked. He was like, I wasn't trying to be mean.
He was probably microfiching his whole fucking history of conversations with you going, how many times did I say faggot? How many times did I say, look, you look good with a dick in your mouth, fag? Oh, yeah. Like, there's probably tons of that instant rewind, like, oh my God.
And I never call people on those jokes either, so he probably got hit with all of them at once. He was like, oh, what did I say?
Yeah, what did I say? War was waged against Confederate flag, and now the Dukes of Hazzard is off television. I told you that was going to happen at the time. That was a simple state issue in South Carolina about getting the Confederate flag off the state capitol grounds.
Yeah.
And what they wanted to do was take that flag down, bring it into a museum, and be like, hey, we're not parading this in everybody's face, but it's got historical context for especially South Carolina and the South in general. So we're going to put it in a museum, and the flag that flew above the state capitol is there.
Yeah.
And within a month, Dukes of Hazzard was gone. You couldn't buy Dukes of Hazzard toys on fucking Amazon anymore. It's the same thing with the Redskins. I will forever call them the Redskins.
The Washington football team.
Yeah, Washington Commanders football team, whatever. Fuck off. No, it's the Redskins. And, it pissed Troy off one day we were watching, and what's his name? Kirk Cousins was talking about when he was the quarterback for the Commanders, was like, no, you motherfucker. You never played for the Commanders.
You played for the Redskins.
You were a Redskin, dude. I watched those games. You were a Redskin.
Get the fucking headdress on, dude.
You don't get to change it now and be like, oh, yeah, it was always a Commander. Bullshit you were. No. Okay, let's leave it. Let's leave it there. Did you have anything else to add? Were people commenting?
Yeah. I think reading the comments, too, has been making a lot more people want to interact with
Yeah. So people keep asking me about Super Chats.
Yeah.
We should do that. I don't know how to set it up. I don't know how to do that. I asked Aaron, but he didn't answer me. I
think you just
he got Drake's cock to me within 30 seconds.
But he can't answer something about the show.
But something about the show that might help us. I was like, dude, I might make $5-10 extra a year. Perfect.
Yeah.
So, but I've had literally numerous people be like, hey, have you ever thought about doing Super Chats?
Yeah, I think all you have to do is hook up a payment or a bank or anything to your YouTube account, and then people can just start donating money.
Perfect. And then what is it? When they make a payment, you have to read their question?
It'll pop up on the stream, so it'll be like a pop up. Please read this. It's kind of like you don't have to read it, but it will pop up on the stream, and people can see what the comment is.
I watched some of my Bay Area guys with that, and then other people get pissed, be like, "Will you read some Super Chats?" Because you can see them coming in, and they haven't referenced them when a lot of them are coming in. Yeah, we should do that. Anything to help the show, especially at a time like now. All right, I'm gonna piss my pants, so we're getting out of here. Hey, enjoy the Super Bowl this weekend, you guys. Go Niners! Fuck it, I can say that now. I will do some stuff over the weekend, radiofor1.com. Go there if you want to buy anything, T-shirts, that kind of stuff. But it's got a link to our Patreon page. Become a member and get all the Drew and Mike Paw stuff we're doing. Garrett and I will throw some other stuff in there soon as well.
I think I talked to you about some music-related stuff if you're interested.
Yeah, for sure. I love music. So we'll do all that. But have a great rest of the day, everybody. We'll talk at you soon.